welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know if you if you were anywhere in the Sussex Squad world, you were all reading yesterday, so I don't even have to ask how your yesterday was because I already know you're reading. But welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, we are a channel that's supposed to Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. How are you all today after your day of reading? Jump in the comments and say hi to all my friends. How are you? Are your eyes falling out? Do you just feel like I need a break? I need to go on vacation. This was a lot. Whatever it is you're thinking. But I'm gonna say hi to my friends in the chat for a second. Jeannie Hyde. Hello, Jeannie Hyde. How are you? She's like, just watched Stephen Colbert. Oh gosh, that just reminded me. I meant to put that interview in our community page earlier today and I forgot. So if you have not seen the Stephen Colbert interview, it's actually on YouTube. I literally saved it in my bookmarked it on my Twitter feed and I completely forgot to post it. So I will do that at the end. But welcome, Judy. Let's see who is here. Church Nelly, our awesome moderator from South Carolina, and all our wonderful squatties in South Carolina. Hello, 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 hello. And Church Nelly's doing all her waves and thumbs up and all of those. Hello, Church Nelly. Ghislaine is here. Hello, Ghislaine. And she's saying hello to everyone. Say hello to Ghislaine. And Lorna is here. Hello, Lorna. How are you? And she's saying hi to Church Nelly. And Lydia, our awesome moderator, is here. Happy Wednesday, Lydia. Hope your Tuesday was fantastic. And let's see, Joyce is here. And who else is here? Lily Lamar. Lily Lamar is here. Hello, Lily Lamar. And Cinderella is here. And Black Queen is here, waving, waving to everyone. And Emma Day is here. And let's see. Mabel is here. Hello, Mabel. And Elaine Parker and Sherry Ware and Brenda. And we will say hello to all our other friends as we go along. So welcome, guys. So I know if you're like me, you're not done reading the book, and so we're not gonna get because obviously we don't want to do spoilers for people. Give people a couple days to read the book, finish read the book. So we'll do some spare periphery, around the spare, so that way we're not giving away any secrets or any, want everybody to have their experience. I mean, I know that's one of the reasons I had completely. And I hoped I unmuted everyone, but I had to mute a few of our squaddies on Twitter because, everybody's different. They were fine with posting, the leaked clips of the book, and so I didn't want to see it, so I had to mute it. And then I unmuted. So I'm hoping I unmuted everyone that I muted. All our wonderful squaddies. It was, nothing against them. I just didn't want to see it. And then I realized yesterday as I was reading and I was posting stuff from the book, and I was like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't do that. Because maybe somebody else wouldn't want to see it. So I stopped. I left it there, but I stopped. And so not to ruin anybody else's experience, So if you're like me, I'm not done reading it. And if you're anything like me, I'm very and it's weird how my brain works with this. It works whether I'm reading or I'm writing. I never start from the beginning. Whenever I'm, it's like in college and I'm, we have to write essays or whatever, paper, whatever. I would always, I would start with, say, the last paragraph, and then I go like paragraph 4 or 3 or whatever, but I never start with one. One usually comes in at the end. I figure out what the, first one would be, but I could never read things and write things in order. How my brain works is I write it in sort of like patchwork, and then I fit it all together in like a puzzle. And so, because there are different things I wanted to know about, what was happening right away. So obviously, I went right to the end. So the when Harry met Meghan, that's what I have so far. Now I'm going back to the beginning. So for those of you who have read the beginning and your mind works in order, you have known more about his earlier life than I do. I now have to go back. And so, and I, finished from when he met Meghan all the way down, all the way to the end. So now I have to go back to the beginning. So, but that's how my mind works. There's sometimes I would have started from, maybe chapter 3 and then sort of like patch my way back around. But anyways, so I'm gonna jump in the chat for like a second and see how you guys were, how was reading for you again. You don't need to give away anything, but just, oh, Brenda said she got her copy yesterday. I'm telling you, I thought I was so irritated at Amazon because I got my Audible and also got like the Kindle, which I need to send to my mom, but I forgot. Anyway, she's probably like, "Where's my book?" Anyway, so and I was just like, everyone, I'm on Twitter, like, most of the night, and people are like, I got mine. Even the hard copy was delivered. And it wasn't until like, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock yesterday morning that I got mine. I thought mine would have dropped like midnight, and it wasn't. And I keep waking up at like 3, it wasn't there. 4, it wasn't there. I was like, really? I was just so irritated. I was all prepped to start reading at midnight. It wasn't there. And then my Audible didn't come until I think maybe about 1 o'clock around there. I was just like, this is just not right. And I've heard different people say like they didn't get theirs until later into yesterday. So that's, yeah. But Brenda, I'm happy you got yours. Let's see. 1998 champions. Well, hello, 1998 champions. Welcome. Says, hello, everyone. I was Mia on all podcasts and videos yesterday. I was listening on audio. I'm assuming you were listening to Mia. I'm not sure what you mean, but okay. Oh, you were MIA. Okay, now I understand. You were MIA yesterday. You were on all podcasts and videos, and you were listening on audio. Okay, now I got it. I was like, who is Mia? Now I'm understanding. MIA, missing in action. It took me a minute, 1998 champions. I'm sorry. My brain is all spare right now. So let's see. Oh, and she's listening to the book. Okay, awesome. So my experience with it is, for some reason yesterday, well, one, because it was late, I literally just read for myself the end of it, and now the beginning, I want a new experience. I want to hear Harry read read the book to me. So I'm going to do the audio for the beginning. So have totally different experiences with it. So there you go. Oh my gosh. Mary says, I'm on my second read of the book. How'd you get through that so fast? Oh my Lord. Wow, you are a speed reader. No, wow. That is amazing. Did anybody else finish the whole thing and now is Mary on their second read? That's wild. Let's see. That's intense. Wow, you are so fast. I have to sit there and let it marinate, and I read a chapter and it marinates, and then I go and maybe I reread, and it's just like I'm such a slow reader because I have to take everything in as I read it. Let's see. Trisha says, try to go to the library to read. 2 women and a man were mad. Their copy of Spare wasn't there. Oops. I think they may be doing staggered delivery, which I think maybe that's probably what happened yesterday, because so many people purchase it online, and so maybe they didn't want their site to crash, and so that's probably they were probably doing staggered delivery of it. That's what I'm thinking. That's my only my only thought of what could have happened, why it got so late. J-Matt says, like, my book yesterday, read all night. I'm almost finished. I'm so mad. The press is misrepresenting everything. In the book, these people are evil. They put Harry and Meghan and the kids in danger. Evil people. Yes, 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 yes to everything. Everything. Yes, 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 yes. It is unbelievable how disgusting the British press is. Karen M, our awesome moderator, says, Pedal, that was me waking up several times and of the early morning, just waiting like a kid. And Chris was, it's exactly how I felt. Absolutely, Karen. That's exactly. I think we are definitely having the same experience. And it was like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And especially when you go on Twitter and people are posting that their book it got there, even the hard copies. And I was just like, what? You got yours before mine. And I'm like, aren't the the Kindle version, so should have dropped before those, but they got theirs before ours. It was amazing. Oh, Connie Bomber, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate your support as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. Emily says, she's talking about Queen. I picked up the hard copy yesterday from Target store on display because Amazon delayed audio until Thursday. Oh my goodness. Now, surprise, it's coming today. Which is the thing. I think they did a stagger because I have Audible and that mine didn't drop until like midday or, somewhere around there. And it was just like, really? Now you're coming? And it was very disappointing because my plan was to have listen to the audio, but I enjoyed reading it actually because then I was hearing my own voice, and instead even hearing Harry's voice, I had my own opinions based on my own thinking about what I was reading. So actually, it turned out okay. This is one of the deliveries. One of the advertisement, I guess, a show window of, tons of stores. They were out. It's so funny, like in the US and the UK, the press, for some reason, have been going out to bookstores and, to see the display and to see, I'm like, other than maybe, I don't know, and I hadn't paid attention to Harry Potter, but I'm assuming maybe that's what they did to Harry Potter when it was going out. Just going out and interviewing people about the book and all of that stuff. And today I saw this. I'm like, why are British people like this? At least white British people. There's just this, this deluded, I think, sense of grandeur or supremacy. One of them, this British lady, I think she was in California at a bookstore, and the way how condescending she was about American readers. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It was just like, wow. And she's doing this, I think it was on BBC. I don't know, BBC or ITV. I think it's BBC. It was just like, why are you like this? It was unbelievable. And then I know I saw a post where one of the royal reporters, one of our squaddies, what's her name? The squaddie that's a lawyer, and she's on MSNBC a lot. I forgot what her name is, but she posted a screenshot of a royal reporter, sort of like, that the sales in a bookstore is not as much as people are saying. And she was like, I guess they don't realize that there's something called, the internet, where you can actually pre-order your stuff on the internet, which the majority of people have done. Even if they're purchasing hard copy, they'll send it to their homes instead of having to go to a bookstore. But it was just very funny. I was just like, I always wonder, like some of them who write books, like, Google exists, right? We can actually just go look this up, but it was just very funny. And my headset just fell off. Okay. And Archwell posted this today congratulating Prince Harry. Huge congratulations to Prince Harry on the release of his memoir Spare. As your team, we are proud to stand beside you and celebrate you as the world finally hears your story in your words. Thank you for your courage, honesty, humor, and light. You've inspired us all with admiration, your staff and team at Archwell, and the private office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I was like, oh, that was so sweet. I like, very, very sweet. I really, really like that. So that is from Archwell. And also, Prince Harry's memoir Spare is the fastest selling nonfiction book ever in the UK. So, a lot of the leaks that were happening, obviously, and they were leaking and trying to leak as much of the book as possible so that the sales will go down. And as with everything that Harry and Meghan put out, the British press are just stupid because they seem to have not learned. And I mean, these people, you would think by now, with all the times that they have done this, that they will learn by now that them going crazy over this will only increase the sale and it'll make people more interested, but they still haven't learned it. So I was like, okay, well, just stay not learning it, And so it is just, it's it's incredible. So anyways, so Sky News is reporting that, let's see. Okay. One of the first customers who queued up to get her hands on the explosive memoir Spare said that she was excited to hear from Prince Harry in his words, and it goes on to say Prince Harry's autobiography is the fastest selling nonfiction book ever, recording figures of 400,000. That was yesterday, so who knows what it is today? I didn't see an update. So far across hardback, ebook, and audio formats in the first day of publication. Larry Finlay, managing director of Transworld Penguin Random House, said, "We always knew the book would fly, but it is exceeding even the most bullish expectations." People want to hear from him. People want to hear what his life has been, and so even with that, just so we know, buckle up, because the British press will come at the book now that they've done all the leaking and the lies, and now a lot of their just a major exaggerations and really criminal behavior in inciting the Taliban and all of that craziness. Now people are reading the book for themselves, and they're seeing the British press really show themselves for what they really are, because when you read it in context, it is nothing what they're saying. And so now expect them to attack, facts and all of that stuff. And so don't be surprised on anything that comes up. The goal for them is to discredit, to make, to just, make Harry out to be whatever, that he is, whatever. I even heard today where one reporter, yesterday there was one reporter from the BBC who basically claimed that he read the book in 2 hours, basically speed read the book in 2 hours. And it's like, British reporters are really amazing to me, because it's like, do you understand how completely, one, you put yourself out there as somebody completely not credible, because all the things that he was saying that the book has no bearings, or it was just so shallow. It's felt like he picked out a word and built a whole narrative around the word, and that's what he kept doing. And it was just like the most amazing thing that you've ever heard. And then another one today, basically this his review of the book, to him it was like, I don't remember the name of the book about Hitler, but he compared the book to a book about Hitler. And I think it's called Mein Kampf or something like that. Is the book about Hitler, that he said Harry's book is like, it's just like, it's amazing that these people are allowed to go on television and radio and say these things, and there is no pushback at all. And I'm telling you, I feel bad for some of our squatties in the UK, because I'm like, what are these people? Not even who, what are you? it blows my mind. So yeah. Also, CBS is reporting that Harry Spare jumped to the number one bestseller list. Obviously, everybody is reading this book, and so it's number one already. It's only been out a day. It's actually been number one before before it was released, or so. It's amazing. And of course, last night, which is, I'm gonna put this in our community page, but let's see. Stephen Colbert. This was such a fun interview. It was absolutely a fun interview. And again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes, where when he came out, it was like a standing ovation. There were vets in the audience. They're like, Harry, Harry, Harry. It was just so cool. And him and Stephen were doing the interview, drinking tequila and all of that stuff. And it's just, it's like, okay, so it's just it's amazing. And it's amazing the difference in the reception that they get in the US as opposed to, again, the reception they get from the press. And again, the press, they're not speaking for the people, because there are a lot of people in the UK that really support Harry and Meghan, in the sense that, hey, look, it's the biggest and fastest selling book in the UK already. It's been only one day, and so it is just, it's amazing, the acceptance. And we're not looking for two perfect people who are flawless and faultless in every way. We just accept them. It's like, okay, this is who we are, warts and all, and we just accept them. And again, not everyone, because we have the right wing among us that are just like the crazy right wing royalists in the UK. We do have them here, but on a whole, generally, people just accept them for who they are. It's like, okay, you're here, we love you, do your thing, speak your mind, tell your truth, whatever that is, and we'll just, take it from there. And it's so amazing, the difference. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the interview. So again, I'm going to post it in the community page. So if you haven't seen it, if you have not seen it, so you can get a look. And yes, Mein Kampf, My Life, is the name of Hitler's book. Yes, exactly. And so that's what the reporter, like, I couldn't, and he was saying these things, and it seems like nobody that was a part of seemed like a podcast, or one of the news outlet there, and he's saying these things, and nobody was saying, like, dude, are you serious? Are you really serious? You're comparing Harry's, and again, this is somebody that have not read the book. He's a royalist who has not read the book, and it's like, he's still in the mindset of, let's stir up as much hate. So since, the Taliban stuff has been discredited, let's go with Hitler. And it blows my mind. And there's no pushback. There is absolutely no pushback. And it's amazing. Okay, so Mein Kampf is different. Okay, my struggle. So okay, I guess it's my struggle, or my life. I don't know the I couldn't confirm what it means, but that's the name of it. So definitely Google it. But that's what he said that Harry's book is. It is amazing to me. It is absolutely amazing. And Sherry Ware says CBS Late Show invited veterans to the show with Prince Harry as guests. The group of IG talked about that visit, and absolutely that is correct. And I think I got some. Oh wait, yeah, there you go. There they are right here. So sorry. Let's get that out. So this is the group right here. They were invited to the show, and so this is a part of the audience there last night. And Harry's basically said, he, as part of the interview, he's like, yeah, there are veterans here, and this is a group right here, and it's called Paramount VetNet. And so that's Paramount Vets, and they're And so it's like Paramount Veteran Network and our friends at WWP. They're all attending the live taping of the late night show with Stephen Colbert. And this is what they said. And thank you, Josephine. She is she's not a squally, but she just posts a lot of royal stuff. But she definitely loves Harry and Meghan. She says, so the post says, we were invited to watch the late night show with Stephen Colbert yesterday. Compliments Paramount VetNet when they announced Tom Hanks as the first guest. I was thrilled. However, there was another special guest, the Duke of Sussex himself. I was totally blown away with how relatable he was. He spoke mental health, recovering from trauma, and being brave enough to pursue what's best for your family. He shared about his time in Afghanistan and how he stayed in the military past his initial obligation because he loved wearing the uniform and finally felt a bit of normalcy. He also spoke about veteran suicide and how society needs to do better. He is such a fascinating person, and I feel blessed to have been able to be in the room with him. I'm going to move my little banner again. If you have not subscribed to us, please go ahead as I move that banner there so I can read the whole thing. It says, I'm grateful to the Late Show. I'm grateful that the Late Show invited veterans to the show. Prince Harry said so many things that resonated with our group and gave all veterans in attendance a special shout out. I'm grateful to the Late Show who invited, I said that already. It says, excited to hunker down and read Memoir Spare this weekend, said Antoinette Wallace. All of the veterans in the attendance were grateful for the opportunity to share in the space with Prince Harry, who is passionate about helping veterans and raising awareness to some of the issues that affect. And so it was really cool. And they would just do all their hashtags there from the Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, National Guard, all these different areas that they came from. So it was just, again, this is why Harry is so important to the military community. And that is why the British press, these people, and, I'm not going to say because I read that part of it, but Harry went after different ones in the press. And I am longing for you guys when you read it. It is amazing that he went after them. But knowing that the reason that they went after, especially the military, because they know that's the most important thing to him. They know that's the thing that is his heart, his passion, and all of that. And they would do anything to destroy that. And it is so evil and so sick and oh my goodness. And then they use, not only did they do that, in retweeting the Taliban and inciting hate in the Taliban, which again put Harry and his family at risk. It's like it also basically tricked, and the veterans should have known better. Daily Mail and the rest of them had, went to veterans to get comments from them based on their twisted version of what Harry said, because nobody had really read the book. They were just translating it from Spanish, and got veterans involved saying all this negative stuff about Harry. And it was just really, really sick. Really, really sick that they would do something like that. So I am so happy that the vets in the US are not paying attention to the UK mess, but it was really sickening. And I tweeted at a couple of them. I'm like, shame on you. Really, shame on you. Especially one of them that was saying, shut up, Harry. And it was just like, I was like, shame on you. You of all people should know better than when your fellow vets are working through when they're working through trauma. The one thing you don't want to say to them is shut up. Because all of a sudden he was getting attention from the Daily Mail. He was quoted in the press and I think he was on television. And it was just like so sickening. And I wonder today yesterday when they read the book, what they're saying. Because the narrative is completely different now. It was just really, really, really sickening to see. And even, and I'll go at it in a second, but even forces.net joined in that mess. And it was just really, really, really irritating. And, one of the things that Harry talked about yesterday with Colbert was this very thing. He says, Harry says, without a doubt, the most dangerous lie that they have told is about how I boasted about the number of people I killed in Afghanistan. Prince Harry tells Colbert, adding that his words were not dangerous, but the spin of the words, were very dangerous. Yeah, because it was dangerous. It put military vets in danger. They put his life, put a target on his back. And, the whole thing was that he was boasting about killing 25 people, which was a complete lie. If you read the book, it would, or, at least, or even see the excerpts from it in context, it was so far from that. And even, they were saying like nobody else would ever name the number, which is a complete lie. If you've read any, a lot of vets have written memoirs. Even some of the people who were claiming, that's not what we do, have literally wrote memoirs themselves and also included that in their memoir. And so it's like British people, it's like, and these, there's this one British soldier who literally wrote a memoir, and, frankly, and other people started calling him out because he wrote a memoir and literally wrote that in his memoir. And yet he accepted money from, members of the press to go on television and lie on Harry. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And, one of the things that they're talking about too is in 2013, while Harry was still, I think he was still in Afghanistan, they had asked him a question, if he had, killed anyone, or, if he, again, he was an Apache helicopter. And he was honest. He said yes. And then all of the British press had, if you look at the middle one, this is what the narrative was in 2013. So they all had it on their front page, and they were all hailing him as the hero in 2013. What is the difference in 2022? Look at the difference in the headlines at the top right. All of a sudden, it was this outrage when the same press, and if you look at some of the same press, look at how they covered the same exact topic in 2013. The only difference is now Harry is literally calling them out. Now they think of him as the enemy. So you have people like Rebecca English and Chris Shipp, especially Chris Shipp, retweeting the people from the Taliban. And it was just like unbelievably sick. And not only that, look at forces.net. They got forces.net. Even this is a military, I've used forces.net on this platform before. You use articles from them. Look at 4 days ago, this was their narrative. This is not how we behaved in the army. A retired British colonel, famous for his inspirational speech on the eve of the battle in Iraq, says Prince Harry has now turned against the other family, the military. These people have, again, nobody has read the book. All they went on is the tabloid narrative, and forces.net covering this retired British army colonel. This British army colonel, I'm talking about Harry, has turned against the military. And today, this is forces.net. Total, Harry hopes to be, Prince Harry hopes that by expressing and detailing his time in Afghanistan, others may feel they can talk about their experience of war too. He said that talking openly in his military service in his new book was part of the healing process. All forces.net had to do was wait to read the book so they can read it in context. Not only did forces.net do this, they also tweeted out the the Taliban attacking Harry. They also did that. And so Peter, and actually I blocked them when I saw that. Peter Hunt, as you can see, he's the one that posted these two today. He's like, amazing what you can do with a bit of context. Again, forces.net is a military paper that, they all fell in line with the tabloid narrative. And that's why I'm telling you, Shutter Island, it amazes me how people that see them, you would think something, an outlet like forces.net that is literally military, they would know better. But they, they all fell for the tabloid narrative. Unbelievable. But anyways, oh, we just looked at that. Moving on, one of the someone posted this. One of the, sticking with Colbert, they had put out this little clip with Harry and Tom Hanks where Harry, they were blowing these, I don't know, trumpet things, and Harry comes in thinking the trumpet was for him. It's like, no, you don't have to do that. And then Colbert is like, oh, no, this isn't for you. And Tom Hanks come, and Harry's like throwing you see the red thing is like roses at Tom Hanks. And someone posted actually, let's see what's her name so I can give her credit. Kajai Momento at Kajai Momento, Sussex Spartan Meghive on Twitter. She posted this today. This is Princess Diana in the 90s with Tom Hanks. So that's Tom Hanks there. And then this is Harry with Tom Hanks. And it was just like, oh my goodness. I wonder the conversation they must have had, because since he met Princess Diana in the 90s. And so, and it looks like Rita Wilson on his right, which is Rita is his wife. And so I just thought it was such a cool thing. I would fly on the wall to hear that conversation. So yeah. Let's see. And the Times reviewed it. It's a long article. I put the link in the show notes. They said the details in Spare. I mean, it's a long article. I just took out a clip of it. The details in Spare Harry's, some are delightfully mundane, like ones about his father doing headstands. Some of this I haven't read yet, so they're kind of going into it. Headstands every day in his underwear as part of his prescribed physical therapy. Others are weighty. It was made explicitly clear that the boys from birth, and that if William got sick, Harry was a spare, might need to provide a spare part, a kidney, a bone, or marrow. That I didn't think of. Like literally a spare part. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, that's right. I just didn't think. To save the heir. Moringer bringing out outsider's perspective is able to ground Harry's personal feelings in the history of the monarchy and cultural significance of his position. In a moving passage, the two try to reconcile Harry's tangible memories of his late mother, Princess Diana, with her icon status. And there's a whole lot more. Again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes. It goes into a lot of other details that I didn't want to get into because, again, many of us are still reading it. But, that part really stuck out to me about Harry, not just, someone they throw in the bus when they need a distraction or they need to hide bad behavior. But literally, if William needed William lost an arm and they needed an arm, they can literally take Harry's arm and give it to him, or a kidney, or whatever William needs. And I was just like, I hadn't thought of it in that physical. I was just like, oh my gosh, that was a little alarming, And so it's just like, shoosh, this hit me in a whole different way. And I was like, wow, this is real. So anyway, I'm going to jump into chat for a little bit and see what you guys are saying, and then we'll continue. Miss September says, I don't think Invictus will ever abandon Harry because it would not be the same. Yeah, no, I don't think they will. It's really, again, you live in a culture where people are so brainwashed to believe the right-wing press is just 99.9% of the press in the UK. Very, very few independent outlets or left-leaning outlets even those you would have where, you have some of the reporters are, at least fair. The rest are just, and they're all monarchists trying to, protect their jobs and the monarchy. And it's just unbelievable. Again, the fact that they can really bamboozle soldiers who served with him to do this kind of, to go again. It's just, that tells you the power of the press, the power of how effective the British press is with grooming. People always say, oh, no, 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 it's just the British press. It's just, I don't really read the tabloids. And when you dig further about where they get their information, the 99% of it is from the tabloids, because that's all there. Even the so-called legit press like the BBC. You would see the BBC when they do, I don't know, I think they just scrapped it when they, they do like the headlines from stuff. A lot of the headlines they have the Daily Mail, the Sun, all of tabloids. So even they get their nonsense from the tabloids. And so it's unbelievable. Being on the outside, watching the dregs that is the British press. Unbelievable. Rootsy says, I just believe that if it was many years ago, William would definitely be headed Harry. The hate is just palpable. Oh my goodness. It's just that grabbing. Oh goodness. Ooh, that's just like, dude, whatever they have, yes, William has always had his anger issues, but whatever whatever training or whatever he was supposedly have gotten from the Queen, I'm like, y'all have created a monster, a real monster. And it's just like, this is who you're protecting? This is the person you're protecting? Unbelievable. Jessica says, I really feel sorry for the UK servicemen. They have no support whatsoever. They don't, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to say much more about we've talked a lot about, what happened at the Invictus last year. It just, And I wouldn't be surprised, because one of the things we know is that William has always been angry at Harry, and Harry even talked about it. And Robert Jobson talked about it in that horrible William at 40 book, how jealous William has been of Harry and Invictus. And I would not be surprised if a lot of that attack on Invictus, and I'm not saying, obviously, I don't know, but whether it's reporters knowing or wanting Invictus to kick out Harry so William could take over, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked at all. That would be the least shocking thing if I were to hear something like that, being even thrown out there. I would not be shocked at all. Sonia says, Harry invented Invictus, only he can halt the games. And, it's so funny. We talked about this before. He invented the games. It was his games that he started. But now Invictus has got to a place that it transcends even Harry. It's gotten to his own thing where different nations have really owned Invictus. So I believe that, and that is the success of Harry, of, putting his vision into everyone, and they have just grabbed onto that vision. So, and again, that is success when you have implanted your vision and they've just embraced it so much that it's now there. So I don't think any one person would, can stop, because yes, Harry is the face of it in that, yes, I mean, so he touches so many hearts. And again, yes, he started it. And were Harry to leave, or they were to be like, oh, no, you can't be it would take a definite hit. It would definitely take a hit, because a lot of people have come to Invictus because of Harry, because of his heart, because of, just who he represents. So it'll take a massive hit. Would it be the same? No, it would never be the same without Harry, so. But I would think Harry's heart is so much for veterans, whether he stays or, I don't see why he would not be there. But if there was to be a chance of, okay, Harry, step aside or whatever, Harry would want it to go on, because his heart is for people. His heart, I mean, look at what the royal family has done to Harry, and Harry still wants, he still envisions a reconciliation. He is not a mean person. He's not a person that you did me evil, so therefore I wish you evil and this be abandoned. No, he's not that kind of person at all. So yeah, unbelievable. Jeannie says, yes, spare really means spare, and spare parts too. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was a new revelation for me. I had not thought about it in that. It just is so. I I think my mind could never conceive that. Oh my gosh, and it just ooh, just like this is sick. This is so sick. And no wonder William is like, no, you have to stay here. You have to be I have to dominate you. No wonder. It's unbelievable. And Fu says at the end of the day, Hero Harry's book Spare is an enormous success. It actually created history in sales for a non-fictional book. Absolutely. Yes, it has. I'm like, my thing for the royal family, I think the most loving thing that the people of UK, if they claim that they love this royal family, they claim that, whatever. I think if they really love this family and want them to be a family, they will abolish the monarchy. That would be the most loving thing they can do to this family. Because as it is, this is sick. There is no moral anything. There's no more. You can't argue that, oh, they are we need to be looking up to them. They are the moral standard, whatever, for nothing. There is no there is no argument for that for these people. They have none. You can't say that they have, oh my gosh, people come to the UK because of the royal family. That's a lie. Yes, they are. But there are so many other places that people go to that it's far greater numbers than any of the palaces or any of that stuff. And it's just like, it's unbelievable. I think the kindest thing the people of the UK could do to that family is to let them go, abolish the monarchy, and let them just be, because this is just sick. Let's see. Jessica saying, yeah, that's exactly what Spare was. Wow, gosh, I got an education there for me, totally an education. Unstoppable for Favor says, hi, Unstoppable Favor says, Harry, run and never go back to that horrible family. Logically, me thinking, I think we're all thinking the same thing. Harry, are you sure? You sure you want to be? You sure these are the people that you want? But I think Harry has a heart, and I think it's the reason why he didn't let go of his mom, or because remember there was at least he was talking about in the interviews that not being able to let go of his mom and just hoping that she was just hiding, and that any day she would come back, and any day she would come, and any day she would call. And Harry has that hope built in him. That is all of who he is that hope. And he has that eternal hope that, no, just because it is like that now doesn't mean it can't change. And his thing is about giving hope to people and, hoping they will change. And I think that's why he hasn't let go. And he has to get to that place, and we just have to be patient with him, for his sake. You can hope that they change. Reality, do they look like they're going to be? No, they just, I think the part of him knows that, there's a chance that they will never change. They will never come around. They would never accept them. They'll never accept Meghan and their kids. They'll never do it. And he, hopefully with his, therapy and all of that stuff that he's still a part of, that they're helping him to, get to the place to be able to accept that if his family said, no, we don't want you. Because that's how they've been this whole time. And it's just, I'm telling you, aristocrat, and oh my God, that aristocrat world is just brutal. That is just absolutely brutal. Alanita says, that's why it really concerns me when some of us regurgitate the British media talking points as if they're facts, helping to spread the narrative. Yeah, that is exactly the thing. And I say it all the time. It's like they couldn't do what they're doing if we, the people, didn't consume the things that they put out there. If we stop, they can only go as far as we go. And if we, they don't care if you like what they say. They don't care if you agree with it. They don't care. The only thing they care about is that you engage. As long as you click, as long as you share it, as long as you screenshot it and share it, whatever it is you're doing to engage with them, that's all they care about. They don't care if you cuss them out from today until the end of time. They don't care. As long as you engage, that's all they're looking for. And that's how they get paid. And the more we keep doing it is what, so anyway, Fatima says, Prince Harry, I wash it all is amazing. He is just incredible. He's true tale, very intelligent man. Whoa. I love it so much. I watch it again and again and again. Just incredible. Okay. Oh, she watched it all. Okay, I'm assuming you meant the interviews and stuff like that. So yeah. Dolores says, William wants Invictus Games for himself. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you hear. Do not be surprised if you hear that. I would not be surprised. Lydia says, Nubian Queen, this show is on YouTube. Please enjoy it later. Is this the Colbert show? So if it is, I'll just let everybody know they can also take the link from here. So if this is the Colbert show, let me know. And I'll also, again, put it on our community page for those of you who are not on the live chat and you can't get it. So there. It's, let's see. B Strong says, I wonder if the vets feel embarrassed now. The British tabloids spare no one to get their narrative up. Yeah. I hope they're embarrassed. I hope this is a lesson to all of them. I really, really hope, because, again, look at how much Harry has given to the veteran community. Look at how much he's given. 10 years in the military, and from the time he has left, he has dedicated his life to giving to the military. And that's the thing, one of the things that and I'm not saying this is all, British people, but one of the overriding things that I get from a lot of people, whether it's press or a lot, even in the, just regular folks, is this ingratitude, this utter ingratitude. And it's so there and it's so present that someone could serve your country for this long and not just serve and then you just go home and hang out, but just dedicate their life and serve and serve and serve. And this is what you do? It is unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Let's see. Let me see what else I have. What else do I have? Hang on one second. Thank you, Be Strong. Hang on. There's USA Today had this is actually a long article. I only just took out a little clip of it. So again, I'm going to put the link to this in the show notes as well, so you can read the article. And this is an opinion piece of from Stephen Petro talking about Harry. He says, "Thank you, Prince Harry, for having the courage to speak your truth. Often it's nearly impossible to change, much less challenge the whitewash narrative that defines our life. But in Spare and on 60 Minutes, Prince Harry did just that." He says, "I listened to Harry describe his fractured fairy tale of a life, notably how his brother William, the Prince of Wales, knocked him to the floor while disparaging Meghan, Harry's wife, and then criticizing his villainous stepmother, Queen I love that. Queen Consort Camilla, for breaking up his parents' marriage, finally describing how his father, King Charles, didn't even hug him. The 12-year-old boy, after telling him his mother had just died in a horrific car wreck. Talk about a train wreck of a family, even if blue blood flows through their veins." And then it talks about a whole lot of things that Harry revealed. And in the end of the article, it says, "As for me, I'm reminded that a family is a family is a family," to paraphrase Gertrude Stein. "And I say thank you, Prince Harry, for his courage and honesty, for showing others how to tell their truth." And so it is a really good article. Again, the link would be there. I didn't want to, put out too much. So there are spoiler things in there, so you can choose if you want to read it or not. So I really like this. So this was cool. And what else I have? This was I had to laugh when I see this. This is what we need to see more of. Now we need to see this for the Daily Mail and the Sun and but the Daily Mirror and Express publishers reach is to axe 200 jobs as part of a major cost cutting following a slump in advertiser revenue. And I'm hoping after this whole debacle with the Taliban, more and more people will stop reading the tabloids, will stop buying their paper, because this is what we need to see. So these publishers have a slump and they're cutting jobs. This is what needs to happen. These papers need to go out of business, and we need to go after advertisers who are advertising in these papers and stop buying their product, whatever needs to happen. So I was very happy, very, very happy to see this. So more, please. And then there's this a couple of days ago, and it's so funny if you haven't listened to the Colbert or watched the Colbert interview from yesterday. Again, we'll do the link, but in there you would have heard Harry talk about this article, and we were tweeting about this a couple of days ago. The Independent. One of the things that happened in the Independent, I use the Independent here all the time because Nadine White, the race reporter, works for the Independent. So I use the Independent article a lot when it comes to race and stuff like that. But Independent just recently got a new editor-in-chief. That's the editor-in-chief right there with Camilla. That editor-in-chief, Gordy Gregg, or Geordie Gregg, however he says his name, he was the editor of the Mail on Sunday and the Daily Mail. He now has moved over to the Independent, and this happened last week. 1 week it took for them to come to an article like this. This is Daily Mail Part 2 happening. And so you will also see Harry referenced this in his book as well. Even though Harry wrote his book, whatever, he spoke about this relationship between Camilla and Gordy J. And I think he was the one at Mail on Sunday when Meghan sued them. And now he is here. And this is the article that Geordie Gregg, and they're saying that Palace source, most likely Camilla, because that's his bestie at the Palace. And oh yeah, you remember how Camilla and Charles, they hired the former editor from the Daily Mail? Well, guess who Camilla went to for a recommendation for Tobin Andre? Geordie Gregg. This is the guy she went to. And this is just this whole sick mess. And this is the article. Prince Harry kidnapped by a cult of psychotherapy. And also when you look at I forgot to bring in the other part of this. It says he was kidnapped. The online version said he was kidnapped by the cult of psychotherapy and Meghan. This is with this guy as the new editor as of last week. This is Daily Mail tabloid front page. So I guess the Independent is now Daily Mail Part 2 with Gordy Gregg, or Geordie Gregg, however he says his name, at the head, bestie of Camilla. And so R.S. Locke, who is a wonderful squatty, who is you'll now hear in a bunch of different different radio programs, even in the UK. She's been doing Byline Times and also LBC with James O'Brien. She's done, so she has been really out there now and doing her thing, and it's wonderful because she's a squatty. So she is posting, and we were all posting about this, talking about this last week on Twitter. She says, only last week, Geordie Gregg, close friend of Queen Consort Camilla and former editor-in-chief of the Daily Mail, was appointed EIC, or editor-in-chief of the Independent. Today, a source close to the family said Prince Harry had been kidnapped by a cult of psychotherapy. #spare. And again, Harry referenced Camilla's relationship with Gordy in the spare. And it's so sick. It is so, this woman is, oh my God. And that's the thing for me, is like, you can't rehabilitate this. Harry said, I think in one of the interviews that, he believes in the monarchy, but not in the way it is now. They'd have to strip this down. They'd have to fire everybody. They have to literally gut this because I'm sure his thing is that you can use it for good. Again, they can if they got it. They have to gut all of this, and most likely kick Queen Camilla out on her ears as well, because as long as she is there, you know that's not going to work. And I'm not here for breaking up people's marriages or anything like that. So maybe she and Prince Charles got to go. And maybe, and coming to think of it, that would mean William and Kate too, because they're just as bad. Oh, gosh. Abolish the whole thing. You got to abolish this whole thing and start over. Because this is a mess. This is an absolute mess. So, oh my God. It's unbelievable. And, change the subject a bit, still on kind of royal periphery. We all remember the Ngozi Fulani, who was racially attacked by Susan Hussey, the Queen's lady in waiting. And, she apologized, met with Ngozi, and we've talked about this whole thing. And one of the things we talked about is the Charity Commission and how they, went ahead and investigated Sister Space, which is Ngozi's charity, where they, their charity that takes care of abused women. And we've talked about this ridiculousness of the Charity Commission, the audacity for them to go after this small charity of this Black woman based on a Twitter thread of this unknown person on Twitter with this did a whole thread on Ngozi filled with lies, misinformation, conspiracy theories, all of that stuff. The Charity Commission took this person's word, went and investigated Sister Space for no reason. And so we've been like, why is the Charity Commission? And so we've been tweeting about this and be like, look, they have no justification for going after Ngozi's charity when the same Charity Commission, when Prince Charles, this man and his charities, they're still in the investigation of Cash for Access, Cash for Honors, when Prince Charles received millions in euros in a shopping bag and a suitcase, and Charity Commission was like, oh, no, we believe the charity is on the up and up, we'll just take their word for it. When Prince Charles took money from Bin Laden's family, they was like, oh, no, it's not a big deal. They, it's on the up and up. The same Charity Commission, whose CEO, the top guy, is, his family is born into privilege. They're part of the British political institution. His wife, her grandfather, was the Churchill. Her grandfather is Winston Churchill, great friend of the Queen. She was also the bridesmaid at Princess Diana and Prince Charles's wedding. These people have royal connections, and so we've been screaming about this. I'm like, this is nothing but a, intimidation. Because if you have no reason to be investigating King Charles, then why would you be investigating Ngozi Fulani? You have all this evidence of stuff that King Charles took. And you decided, oh, no, we're not going to do it. Then why are you investigating Ngozi based on some tweet of all this ridiculous stuff on Twitter in the middle of them abusing this woman? And so the other day, the Charity Commission was like, oh, yeah, we investigated and we found nothing. But, we gave them advice about making sure their books are all together and all of that nonsense. Basically, a cover for themselves as to give themselves an excuse for why, for no reason other than meanness and intimidation, they went after Ngozi's charity. And so one of these reporters were tweeting, I was like, why are you guys accepting this? This is ridiculous. So when I saw this and I was like, oh, thank God. So people, not the, it's like, well, we're on Twitter and we're tweeting this out, but it's like, you don't know people on the ground in the UK. I'm like, are they just accepting this unjust investigation from the Charity Commission? And so I was so happy to see this, even though it was from The Voice and, we think about them, but it was good to see that people aren't accepting it. And so I was very happy to see this article that says the Charity Commission is under scrutiny after unsubstantiated investigation of Sister Space. Commentators see this disciplinary action as a backlash against Black-led orgs when they speak out about racism. Our ARE stands in solidarity. And this, and again, I'll put the article there. You can read the whole article. This is just a clip from it. It says Fulani supporters claim her reputation and that of her charity, which supports Black victims of domestic violence, have been unfairly damaged. Writer Abel Abbey said the investigation into Fulani was proof of an agenda that led Black-led charities in their place that keep Black-led charities in their place and threaten their charitable status if they criticize the establishment. He told The Voice, "It's good to see the attempt to He told The Voice, "It's good to see the attempt to weaponize the Charity Commission against Sister Space and Fulani had not prevailed, and has actually cleared them of any wrongdoing and restored their good name and standing in the community. I do think it is very alarming that the Charity Commission can be swung into action against a domestic violence shelter for Black women off the back of a tweet thread by a rather unsavory anonymous character. Charities that take strong anti-racist position can expect to find themselves on the receiving end of some regulatory action." And this is the thing. This is what we've been talking about this whole time. It was about keeping and putting Ngozi Fulani and her charity in their place. Don't you dare talk about, don't you dare speak out about racism against the royal family. Don't you dare. And that's why, even again, love Harry, but that's why it was so dangerous when he characterized what happened with her and what Susan Hussey did to her as unconscious bias. Because what happened is now reporters in the British press are like, "Oh, no, see, it's not racism. So give her back her job. She's fine. She is innocent," and that is the danger of that. At least one of them, and now Ngozi she's the abuser. And it's so sick, but I'm glad that people are speaking out about this and not accepting the fact that the charity, it is so unjustified. It was intimidation. We saw it in the beginning. It was total intimidation. You call us out on racism, we will come after your charity and we'll discredit you based off of literally an anonymous person, not even a name. It's this anonymous thread of lies and conspiracy theory about a woman who was abused. And so I'm glad that, she's cleared and all that. But again, they need to really go after the Charity Commission and expose them. And again, expose their links, because people are tending to shy away from exposing the links they have to the royal family. Even in these articles, they're like, "Oh yeah, he is, his family is, in politics and all of that stuff," but they're not linking it to the royal family. And that's the thing. They're still shying away. Again, in The Voice, they're the ones that King Charles, guest edited. So they have been shying away from that. So anyway, I'll read, you can read the article when it's there. It's so bad. And it's just so sad that she had to go through this. But her charity is up and running again, and it'll be a while. I mean, I'm sure there's still a lot of hurt from what happened, but anyways, moving on to something completely different. We've talked about her here on this podcast, Naomi Osaka, and Naomi has revealed today that she is pregnant. She's going to have a baby, and so she's not going to be playing tennis this year. Obviously, she's going to be coming back next year. So congratulations to Naomi. And I've said it here before, it's funny with Naomi, like she is a great tennis player, but I've always felt that Naomi, just watching her and just the joy she has off the court and when she's doing her creative things, she has so much more joy doing that than she is on a tennis court. And in my mind, and I could be very wrong, but, I long for the day when she realizes that even though she is a great player and, obviously, Grand Slam champion, whatever, it doesn't seem and it doesn't appear to me that her joy is on a tennis court. And so that's what I see. But I think it's just beautiful news. Congratulations to her. I just know we've talked about it here before, and I was like, yeah, Naomi, congratulations. And so, anyways, more news. As you may have known, I tweeted about it yesterday. Oh gosh, I didn't put it in our community page. I'm just realizing, just in case you didn't know, California and all our squaddies in California. Oh my goodness, we are praying for you guys because California just got whacked by hurricane the last few days. They, in the last few days, they have got rain that it has been a mess. And it got so bad, Montecito had to be evacuated. I mean, it was just, and it's so weird because a couple of days ago, it was the fifth anniversary of a deadly mudslide in Montecito, where the same thing happened. Lots of rain, deadly mudslide, 23 people died. And so, roads were closed, thing flooded. I think they had one death, so I think one child. I think him and his mom was on their way to school. Amazingly, they were still taking the child to school, but things weren't closed down then, and he got swept out of the car, and I don't think they found him. So it was a little baby, 5 years old. So it was really, really sad. But yeah, even Ellen posted a photo or a video of a creek right in the back of her house. It was raging. It was the scariest thing, and she's like, there's never any water in this creek ever. And it was raging. It's like 9 feet of water. And so Montecito was really all of Santa Barbara, but because of some of Montecito is just low lying right there in the water, they had to be evacuated. Ellen said because they were higher up, they told them to stay in place. And so at the same time, we were like, oh my gosh, whatever happened? What happened to Harry and Meghan? I know, and then we realized Harry was in New York. So who knows? Meghan may have been with her mom or whomever. But LA also they had flooding. It was a mess. California, Northern and Southern California was a mess. And I was tweeting about Montecito, and this guy was like, came at me. It's like, well, what about these other places? Is Montecito the only place? And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know your town existed. I'm only hearing about it now. I was like, geez, give me a break, But, so we started tweeting. I mean, pipes broke, and just flooded whole time. It's just been a disaster. And so please pray for them. I heard a report today that they think they're on the back end of all the rain, but when it rains in California like this, it's like definitely, it's very hilly there. Expect mudslides again for 50th anniversary of mudslides there. So, of course, World Central Kitchen, is there whenever there's a tragedy, whatever, they run to the struggle. And so World Central Kitchen Pregna reporting in from California in response to the statewide storms with widespread flooding. World Central Kitchen has teams across the state figuring out how we can best support with more rain ahead. We'll adapt to the evolving situations to continue to share updates. Chef from California. So again, they always run to the struggle. And finally, Invictus in Nigeria sharing with us. Join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. So they are doing their thing out there. And I just wanted to end with, Invictus, back to Invictus, our faves. So yeah, so I'm gonna go into the chat and see what you guys are saying, and yeah, that's all I got for that. Again, don't want to give away anything that I've read, so that's why I've stayed on the periphery of it. So yeah, Cookies and Cream, our awesome moderator, says, I love how Steve Schmidt is staunchly defending the Sussexes. He called out the Unroyals and the mistreatment of Harry and Meghan. Yes, he is, and I did need to research who he is. Like, I heard his name before, only because he was really calling out, I think it was Piers Morgan, that he really went after Piers Morgan. And I did an article. He had done an article on a couple of shows ago. I had read his article, but for some reason, I feel like he's the same one that had a Twitter spat with Piers Morgan, and they really went after Piers and really. And so I have to go back in my records. But yes, I saw that he's really supporting them, which is great. Good to have more people supporting the Sussexes. Sylvia says little Meghan and the children might have been in New York with Harry because they knew about the dangers of the rains, or Tyler took them to Atlanta. Yeah, I was thinking that too, because I was really concerned. I wasn't sure. And then it turned out obviously Harry was here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were in New York. And again, I don't know in Montecito if they are higher up, closer to where Ellen was. So then, their property might be okay. Just the low, obviously, the lower lying ones are, there's like a river runs through all of it. People were, using a boat to go down the street, so yeah. So but as far as they're safe, so they're fine. But yeah, I was just very concerned. Like, goodness, it was so eerie that it was the anniversary as well. Very, very eerie. Let's see. Sherry Ware says Prince Harry's voice is amazing in his audiobook. He could have a career in voiceover. I totally see it. I totally see it. Or he could do a talk show, which is my thing, and have a podcast too. He's very good at what he does. So I could totally see it. Joan says, oh, she's talking to Andrea. I know what you mean. I am a fast reader, but I stopped and savor Harry's powerful words. Plus, I'm listening to the audiobook and reading the hardcover simultaneously. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. So, Joan is having it all the ways. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see. Lorna says, Pedal, it's a Pineapple Express, which is coming more frequently because of climate change. Oh, it's, what is a I've never heard that term before. Pineapple Express. Explain that. Wow, I have to look that up, or explain if you like. I had not heard that before. But if you're talking about the weather, yeah, it's crazy. And it's just like all of a sudden, I mean, again, California, it rarely rains. Well, maybe up north it rains more, but Southern California very much doesn't rain, and it's been in a drought forever. So when you drop this amount of water there, then obviously, and they actually had a little bit of a mudslide, not as obviously as much as the last time, but they had a little bit of it. So hopefully the hills stay, that they don't have, they don't have big mudslides there. Let's see. Well-being Rose at says, also, I think Harry's goal is to start the conversation rather than to shut it down, as in the UK, the R word is a shutdown of the conversation. Yeah, it is. Because I remember when those 72 or 76 MPs put out that notice, the first one, they said, the colonial I think, well, how did they phrase it? It's like the way that they were writing was like this they had this colonial tone to it. And my thing is like, no, it's racist. And so someone was trying to explain to me how when a British person hears the word racist, they'll run. It's like it's a conversation ending topic, and but when you use colonial, they are more apt to start, you're more apt to keep the conversation going with them, but they're afraid of the word racist. And we've seen that. I mean, they have not been able to let go of the Oprah Winfrey interview because of the quote unquote racist person in the royal family. They have not been able to let go of that. It's the reason why they have not let go of the Susan Hussey thing, because they just can't accept the fact that they're racist. They can't accept it. And so I understand this. The Harry using, unconscious bias. But the thing about minimizing it to that, and not understanding that unconscious bias doesn't mean it's not racist. Unconscious bias, when it's in a racial situation like this, is racism. It is, you have that bias there because of it. And so it's one of those things, but I understand it is a conversation stopper for them. It's kind of like they shut down. They can't deal with it. My thing is that, I understand that, and maybe that's how they can get them to a place where they can acknowledge their unconscious bias. And I'm sure that's, I'm assuming that's where Harry is going for. That's why he's focusing so much on unconscious bias. But again, the danger of that is, as Dr. Shola says, unconscious bias and thinking in terms of that and not as that is racist That is a get out of jail free card, and it only benefits the perpetrator. It does not benefit the person who is on the receiving end of that racist abuse at all. It's only a get out of jail. It's a way for them. It's a plausible denial. It's a way for them to say, you know what? Well, I wasn't conscious of it, therefore I'm not guilty of it. And then they can gaslight you and then turn it around and call you the racist one for attacking them for being racist. My thing with that is, look, when they are being racist to us, and when they are throwing that stuff at us, they're not minimizing it. They're not trying, you know what I mean? They're not thinking about, well, let me think of how Petal is going to accept that. I mean, they're not thinking about that. So then why should I minimize what they're doing to, well, it's unconscious bias. They don't really know what they're doing. It's something that they don't really understand. I'm like, no, they understand what they're doing. Especially say the press, especially say the royal, they know what they're doing. They have been profiting off of that for years and years and years and years and years. And they have chosen to not educate themselves. They have chosen. And so if they're not concerned about my feelings and how I am going to accept the abuse they throw at me, then why should I spare them for letting them know this is exactly what you're being? And you're going to have to figure out a way for you to open your ears and understand where you are. But I can't minimize that. And I won't minimize that to spare someone's feelings or spare, like, okay, you know what? Then you're going to have to deal with the fact that you are racist until you decide that, okay, whatever you need to do to be able to accept where you are so you can change. So a lot of times in these situations, I'm like, we, the people who are the victims of racist abuse, are always the ones having to bow and bend and whatever to make it easy for the perpetrators to be able to accept it, to make it comfortable for them so they can, piecemeal it to them, give it in portions so that they can accept it. And I was like, but they don't think that way about us. They throw that stuff out. They don't care. Then why should I do the same for them? Why should I piecemeal it and make it comfortable and easy and give it to them in pieces so that they can comfortably accept what they're doing? Why should the victims of this be the ones contorting in all sorts of ways to make it comfortable for them? Why? When we are the ones bearing the brunt of their abuse. So I'm glad that to see, it's brought up a big, wonderful conversation in the UK. I'm glad Dr. Shola and those, I've seen so many other people on different outlets really explaining it, and really praising Harry for his growth, but explaining that no. Just because he said unconscious bias, the act is still the same. He didn't say the act wasn't done. But it's not, but explaining that, yes, it's still a racist act, even though that's what he's terming it. It's still a racist act, what they did, what Susan Hussey did, what the person who is concerned about baby Archie's skin color. Yeah, it's still racist. And so I'm glad that they were clarifying it for people and not letting them get away with, oh, no, it's just unconscious bias. So I'm sorry, that's a long-winded rant. Let's see. Kitsendor says, the way I see it, to have the monarchy get on the right path, break everything down to the studs, and start from ground zero. I absolutely agree with that. Because again, Harry believes in the monarchy. He's like, yeah, I believe in the monarchy, but not the way it is now. And I absolutely agree with him. Because again, the monarchy there are things about the monarchy, if it is used for good, it will be gosh, think about the people in the UK that don't have that. All the funds that the UK, the monarchy has, the contacts, oh my goodness. the inns and so many different areas. They could be amazing. But in order to do that, they gotta have this. It can't function the way it is now. You can't reform that. That has to be gutted. Completely gutted. Lottie says Camilla should never be allowed to be crowned queen consort, not after what she did to Diana and Charles. Should never be allowed to be king. Both of these people's all doctors. I am not sure what you mean. But okay. So Lottie thinks they should not be queen consort in I mean, we're going for there should not be a monarchy, period. But yeah, no, totally. But then you think about it, if they're not, again, hereditary goes to William. William doesn't deserve it either. So it's just you got to start over with that. And as I said before, I think the kindest thing, maybe the kindest thing the people of the UK could do is disband this, abolish it, let these people learn how to be people and not just zoo animals that people are just there for people to look at. And then inside of it, they're just destroying themselves and destroying everybody in their path. I mean, what kind of, it just, yeah. Jessica says the monarchy has no redeemable qualities. No, it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. At least not in its present form. Nancy says, Harry said that this story was important because he wants to diminish suicides. He's a hero, and those reporters should have to go to war themselves so they can see soldiers don't go to war to play. They know. They totally know, but it's the thing of, let's sensationalize it. Let's put his life in danger. They know exactly, what happens in a war. I mean, I would hope no right-thinking Brit would be shocked that people are killed, that their soldiers in the military kill people. Like, what do they think they do in war? Go make cupcakes or something? I mean, hello. So I would hope that nobody in the UK is that shocked anybody. So it's just unbelievable. Kathy Jones says, when they stop dragging Harry and Meghan into the mud, we will stop defending Harry and Meghan. Yeah. And Harry even said it in the interview with Stephen Colbert. It's like, during COVID, there was a period there where for almost a year, and definitely after Oprah, you didn't hear anything from them. You really didn't hear anything from them, and before, even when they just moved, you didn't hear a thing from them. But the press just kept going and going and going and going and going, especially in 2020, attacking for no reason. And that was one of the reasons Harry said they did Oprah, because it's like, look, you're all attacking us for no reason. Let's see. Kizuna says Willie Boy needs to stay away from the Invictus Games. That is age thing. Harry put it in his blood, sweat, and tears to get this wonderful event started from the ground up. Sir Peglo, oh God, need to stay out. I mean, William has a way of, taking stuff that other people do and put his name on it. So would I be surprised again that if no, I don't think any squatty would be at all. Bishon says, for those who haven't watched Colbert interview with Harry, please don't drink anything. You'll snort it out. It's so refreshing. Yeah, it's very funny. Leave the drinking to Harry and Stephen. They were doing it on the show. It's so funny with American shows. You'll be like, yeah, let's have a cocktail. Let's have some tequila on the show while we're talking. Very wild. Diamond Blue 24 says William can show up to the Invictus, but he will have a seat. It is for Harry and the vets. He will find he cannot control it. I'm telling you, controlling things. William is scary, man. I just, oof, goodness, I can't imagine. And maybe Kate is that way as well. So maybe they balance. They're can go head to head. But that guy's there's something wrong with him, man. I'm like, and I don't think it. Again, I don't think William has ever gone to therapy. I really don't think he's ever gotten therapy. Because I mean, and again, I'm sure you're reading it as you read, but there's something very, very wrong with that guy. Patricia says, I believe William intends to show up at the Invictus to represent the British team because it's under the Queen's patronage now. Oh, well, okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Adrian says, if anyone should be embarrassed, there is the royal family. It's the military that gives Harry the name warrior. I think they have Harry's utmost respect because Harry listens and is one of them. Yeah, that's the thing. Harry is one of them. And that's why, yeah. Let's see. Cookies and Cream, our awesome moderator, says it is amazing and pathetic that the U.S. military is showing more love and respect to Harry than his home country he served for. I'm telling you, that ingratitude is just, ooh. I mean, we know that from the, when the royal family rejected Harry the wreath, and I'm sure you'll read it in the book, what happened there, but rejected the wreath. And laying a wreath at the cenotaph for him. I mean, it's just like, ugh. It's unbelievable. Oh goodness. Sonia says after William did all that to Harry and Meghan, they went on a walkabout only to get good press. William is dangerous. He's the kind of brother one reads about who would out their own brother. Yeah. William needs therapy. He definitely needs therapy because goodness, grievances. And Wellbeing says, Stephen Colbert shows on YouTube the full show without breaks. Yes, and that's the one I'm going to put the link in the show notes and also in our community page. Thank you so much, Wellbeing. Let's see. Miss September 15 says the British media thinks Meghan is behind the book, no matter Harry has. And of course they do. Of course they do. Because again, it's Meghan's fault. Obviously. Let's see. Gwendolyn Daniel says, she's talking to Mabel J. Absolutely crazy, but Harry and Meghan will still be fabulous and helpful to people. Not sure what you're referring to, but let's see. We'll keep going up and see what I missed in the chat. Anne says, I would like to know what has hero Harry done to the rogue looking son-in-law of Afro Annie, to the rogue-looking son-in-law of Afro Annie. He and his commoner cronies have been making fun of hero Harry. Tyndall, you're ugly Hulk. He's been doing that forever. I mean, attention, just, he's looking for attention. That's what it usually is. Attention, attention, attention. Look at me. I need some press. B Strong says, Harry got to escape the toxic press. So did Naomi Osaka. And now she's expecting a baby. So happy to see them thriving. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she, especially when she took a break for, mental health, she was abused. She was utterly abused. And so I'm like, I like her away from tennis, honestly. I want her to be happy. And again, she always seemed to be happier away from that world. Dale Beef says, well, Harry has been abused for so long that when you've been with your abuser that long, you're still drawn towards, yeah, it's like Stockholm syndrome. Yeah. I totally, he hasn't, I mean, it's been only 2 years. So it'll be a while for him because again, not only that, he's still drawn to them, he loves them. He really, really loves them. And they're parts of him that still need their love and he still needs his dad, he still needs his brother, you know and just the way and again, that hope that he had that his mom was just hiding and would come back. I think it's that same hope that he has for the relationship with his father. And I look, I understand. I can't come down on that, and maybe one day he'll see them for who they are. It's just not right now. I mean, he sees them. That's why he's called it out. But there's that still hope in him that he just has a positive outlook that they will change and that they will reconcile. So for his sake, I hope he's right. Because if that's the thing that would bring him most happiness along with his own family, then I would want that for him. If there is a way that for them to change. And again, while we're all on earth, we have a capacity to change. We all have that capacity in us to change our behavior and change our ways. And I hope for the best for his and Meghan's sake. So yeah. Lana says Prince Harry loves his family, but is asking for accountability. Accountability is the word that shows that he knows what is wrong with them, but he will not. But he will not enable their behavior, and that is such a healthy thing. That is such a healthy boundary to set up. Like, we can't. I want a relationship with you, but you have to be accountable for your action. And so, yeah, I am glad he has that boundary. It's so healthy. Which shows he's not going to be a pushover. So, which is good. Jessica says, now we know that Harry was not allowed to view the body of his mother before her burial. Sad. You can't get closure. And, it's so funny. That is one of those things where I understand not knowing what the right thing is to do there, especially with the kind of death that she died. Would I want my 12-year-old seeing, I don't know, seeing his mother in that way, having that image in his head? Like, I understand not knowing what the right thing is to do and erring on the side of, I don't think I want my child to see that. Not because I don't want them closure, but I would be worried about, would that be implanted on their mind forever? Is that, you know what I mean? I understand not knowing that. And now, but Harry, the other flip side is that he never got closure. So his whole mind, because he hadn't seen the final her there, that he can close it. His mind that she'll come back, and so that thing has haunted him for most of his life. And so it's kind of like, I understand. If it's the one thing I could understand with Prince Charles and whomever, all the other adults, they're not, I can sympathize with that, because I wouldn't know if that was my child, I'd want that. But then, all these years later, realizing that, oh my gosh, that may have been the thing that would have given them closure, and now they don't have closure. So I could sympathize with that, because I would err on the side of, I don't want my child to see it. I would err that way, and which obviously would have been the wrong thing. But I could understand that. Maverick says, Maverick is very clear. She says, it's a cult, pedo. We can say nothing else for them. It's a massive cult. It is. And even Harry alludes to that it's a death cult. Yeah, it's very clear what it is. It is very clear. It's narcissistic. It's very abusive. And if they can't control you, they'll cut off your source. We know they'll cut off your money. They'll cut off your security. They'll send the press out. I mean, this is cult behavior. This is definitely cult behavior. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Sonia. Yes, please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And please share the video. I would appreciate that too. Share it and with your friends and family so that they can, subscribe and help us build the channel. So that would be awesome. Oh, Kat Holland, thank you so much. I appreciate it. She says, it seems like H always wanted a relationship and was protecting Will. Will is always mean and or jealous of H. Why they call him Harold versus Henry. I don't know how the Harold started, but, Harry calls him Willie. Who would have known? I guess it's something they grew up with, and they call, he always referred to Harry as Harold instead of, and William is very formal. He always referred to his wife not as Kate but as Catherine. So I think he's very, very formal in everything he does. And even though Harold is not really his name, but that's how who would have thought in private? You would think Harry. Harry calls him Willie. But for him, it's Harold. It's just, who knows, kids? Who knows why that stuck? Let's see, a couple more before we end. Let's see. Jan Martin says, hello, Pedal and Squatties. Happy Wednesday. We are so sorry. I'm like, oh, that's okay. That's why the replay is there. I can always watch the replay. I'm beyond proud of Prince Harry and absolutely loved his interview with Stephen Colbert. Last night it was amazing. So yes, it was. Let's see. One more before we go. Marilyn says, hi, everyone. I love the relaxed banter between Harry and Stephen Colbert. Harry seems overwhelmed by the affection and the applause he received from the audience. I know, it must be so great to feel loved. And he was even saying, we moved to California. He's like, and America is a great place to live. Like, he knows. I love it. He's like, America is a great place to live. Oh, Kat Holland, thank you so much. Kat has given us a little bit of insight into Harold. He said the school kids called him Harold as well. Well, there you go. There you go. So I guess Harold was a thing. It's amazing that, the only other place I'd heard Harold apart from this is Jeremy Clarkson referred to him as Harold. It's just wild. All of a sudden, Harold is a thing. Thank you, Kat Harlem, and thank you so much for your wonderful donation. I appreciate your support. Thank you. And well-being rules, I said, H is also now a hugger, is hugging out. Yeah, we've seen him like that, hugging people on his engagements and stuff. And it's that Diana that's in him. And he can't not, it's kind of like Diana literally implanted herself in Harry. And so he's always been that hugger. He's always had this heart, this softness of heart, and it just, in spite of all his issues, he's always been that way. And so, yeah. And Meghan is also a hugger. So you got two huggy people. Yeah. So I keep saying one more. Maybe I just don't want to go. Let's see. Let me scroll all the way up to see if I'm sure I missed some of the conversation all the way up. Kathy Gabby says, Harry and Meghan are building their own table, rehabbing the royal family's relationship with tabloids seem like a waste of good energy. Harry is on a digital diet, which excludes the trash. Yeah, definitely. But I think what is important, it's put the relationship between the royal family and the press on blast. Because now we know we are not, the narrative of, the royal family are just doing it, they're just practicing a dignified silence. Everybody has been calling that out as nonsense because we know that's fake. So there is no invisible contract anymore because all of that is on blast. And so reporters are now trying to defend themselves with all kind of ridiculousness. And so whenever people hear the source, whatever, they're all calling them out now, even other reporters calling it out, the nonsense royal sources. So he's put that on blast with the spotlight of the world on it, And so the royal family, they risk losing, their credibility is in the toilet at the moment. And so whatever standing they have in the world, people are going to be questioning why they keep that relationship with the Royal Rota, which the majority of is our tabloids. So people are going to be like, excuse me, remember Spare, you know? So they are now having to rethink their relationship with the press, because the more Harry's words and book get ingrained in the people of the UK, they're going to be looking at that, you know? And so now we know, like, their popularity is sinking. So, they are going to have to decide, am I going to, save ourselves, or are we going to, keep our relationship with the Rota? This is what they have to decide. So we will see. Let's see. Literally one more before we go. I think I got this before. Monarchy has no redeemable qualities. There we go. That's it. That's it. That's what we got. They have no redeemable qualities. Break it down, go back to zero, and start over, because again, this literally, you cannot reform this. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream. Thank you so much. Enjoy reading. I'm going to be reading the rest of the day and tomorrow and whatever, and so we will chat. But thank you guys so much for coming on, hanging out. Thank you to our 2 Cents crew for your wonderful support monthly. I appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much. And for all of our wonderful squaddies on here who, as you can see, donate or do the super chat, super stickers, super thanks. Thank you so much. Who's support by PayPal or Cash App, anyhow you support, or merchandise. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me today. I love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, and we will be chatting more Spare. I think we're going to be Spare forever and ever and ever for the next, I guess, for the foreseeable future. So thank you guys so much. I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and we will chat tomorrow. Bye.